Good night. How everyone doing tonight? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J. Speeder. I'm here to give you a little short news on tonight. I have an update with Immigrant the border. I had talked about this last week. Um, Immigrant, they need a plan for 2024, to secure the border. CBP, we have to explain the legal pathway, policy restrict routes, at the border. Immigrants are dying trying to cross the border. Their children is getting abused, at the border also because they're leaving alone. Because I had said a couple of months ago, do not leave your children alone at the border. You know, um, immigrant is crossing illegal. Cause we cannot have them across illegal because when they come on this side, come up in a state, they need identification so you can apply for anything, in the United States. So the policy in the security at the border. We need all that at the border. We need to enforce the rules. All immigrants have to be legal before crossing the border. One, I have before crossing the border, you need all your information. Two, you're gonna need your ID and you're gonna need your green card. So three, no incompetent alone at the border. Because if you're having problem with their children, getting abused, getting raped, you cannot leave your children by themselves at the border. For immigrant and refugee, apply for the summer online, or either you have to call. Trying to make sure all the immigrants are legal before crossing to the United States. I request for this bill policy um, for the borders to be accomplished because they need identification. Even before crossing the border. They can't go to another state with no identification and they have to apply for so many stuff once they come to the United States. So that's on the immigrant. So let's talk about government shutdown. I talked about just a little this morning. The government shutdown. Um, it'll be like in 9 days from now. So with the shutdown will be critical, to the world. And I understand you're trying to gather up the funds. With the shutdown, what it will affect the Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, and it go on and on. It will affect so much stuff if we have this shutdown. Now we have to figure out, how we're gonna fix it or how we're gonna try to keep the shutdown from happening. Because we really can't afford to have the shutdown because it's gonna affect so much stuff. If we have the shutdown. So y'all either want to fund the weapon, you know, with the war, or you want to control the government shutdown. The government shutdown. It's the first thing both of them is important because we don't need the war to turn into war two. So both is very important. So we got to see how we gonna fix both situations that we are dealing with right now. So you see, we talking about the war. So you have your own president. Urge the United Nations, members to stand up against Russia aggressor. So we're gonna stand with Ukraine against Russia. So if we allow Ukraine to be curved up, it's the independence, of any nation. The United States president had asked, did they had a meeting to defend the idea that powerful nation can size the territory. So if we don't try to control um, this war, it will come to our territory. So they're asking us to help and support Ukraine. So United Nations, General Assembly, Mr. Bennett asked the world to stand with Iran. Appeal to the world leaders to stand with Iran against Russia invasion. So fighting for freedom. Fighting for freedom. Now, Russia alone bear responsibility for this war. They also has the power to end this war immediately. They have the power to stop it. They have so much pride they refuse to stop it. You know, um, Mobilizing the resources for inflation, instruction, and stupidity, development, and fighting climate change, climate, including both projects to transition infrastructure system in a set to change in climates and those that are special could see to address climate change risks. Such as coastal defined system in order to protect the people. The investment in economic activity. So we know Mr. President is still working on that department there. So the equipment and systems that are designed to meet the population initiatory service needs. You know, um, I will stand for Ukraine against Russia. We all gonna try to stand with Ukraine against Russia. At some point, you have to come together with impeachment, for this war to come to an end. Come to some kind of agreement. It was billions of dollars, in weapons supporting to Ukraine. You know, if anyone wants to support Ukraine, you can. You know, um, let's stand with Ukraine and fight for freedom. So that's all the news I have for you tonight. We have talked about the immigrant. They've been crossing over illegal because they don't have no kind of rules or anything at the border. So we have to enforce these rules. Um, we have to enforce these rules. The children getting abused. They dying left and right trying to cross over. So they're crossing over without any identification, so they need an ID or either a green card. They cannot leave a competent child at the border. You know, um, I don't know if they still have this assignment. I'm gonna have to pull it up. They will have to go online or either try to call. We need all immigrants to cross over legal. So they would need an ID or their green card. A legal pathway at the border. We need all this thing. We don't have 42, Title 42 no more, but we still can have strict rules at the border. So we talk about the immigrant. We talk about the shutdown. That we really don't need the shutdown to happen. Because it will affect so much things, stuff. You know, if the shutdown take place. You got the Social Security, you got the Medicare and the Medicaid, and it's much more that the shutdown will affect. So we have to figure out how we gonna control the shutdown, that we will not let the shutdown take place. And we also talk about this war. This war is still going on. It's getting so bad that it might come in our territory. So we need to try. We need to try to stand up for Ukraine. For this war will not come to our territory. And they were, Mr. President, they were spending billions of dollars for these weapons. So now we got the shutdown going about to go on. They will need help if anyone wants to donate and help towards the weapons for Ukraine. So the climate change. We need to we're gonna have the climate change. The climate change risk, such as coastal defense system, order to protect the people, investment, economic activity, equipment and system, you know, they're designed to meet the population of service need. You know, so it's all that we have to try to figure out. With the shutdown and this world war, we have so many things coming at us at one time, but it will get done. Um, that's all the news I have for you tonight. Y'all have a blessed, safe night, and I'll see y'all on the next video.